Hello, hi, welcome back to another quick tutorial. It's been a while since I made one of these, but this one is a very specific one that was requested by somebody that follows me on Instagram, so here we are. Today's tutorial is about as niche as it gets, like super niche. We're gonna be taking this JPEG, turning it into this. Now, this edit is very much my style. It's bright, it's airy, and it was edited with a purpose to go along with the set that I was doing. This edit is going to require a full Lightroom subscription, simply because I found that when you're editing JPEGs, it's all about the little micro adjustments like masks and brushes, and a full subscription is required for that. There is a free trial with Adobe Lightroom, so definitely check that out if you want to follow along. And you have a similar photo, sort of your own photo that you want to try out. Eventually, I'd like to turn this into how you can edit on your phone or with the free Lightroom mobile app, because I think that could be super useful. Not everyone has a camera that can shoot RAW or a phone that shoots RAWs like the new iPhones. Like I said, this video has a purpose. It was created very niche for a specific follower that asked me, and two, Chris Ronak and I, Chris Ronak sucks, and if you're following him and subscribe to him, you should unfollow him. Chris Ronak and I, roommate, fellow creator, are going to be starting a sort of challenge series on YouTube here in the next couple of weeks, and the first challenge might require us to edit JPEGs. So one, doing this video might help me with a victory, and two, the creeping realization that my friends don't watch my videos, if he doesn't know what he's doing. All right, so we'll hop into Lightroom and I'll show you the couple quick adjustments you need and the basic setting. Literally just gonna touch the basic settings and the brushes and the mask. We're not gonna do any tone curves, HSL, none of that stuff, so super easy. So I've already taken this photo and obviously done the edit, so I'm just gonna run through everything I did. I chose this photo of Emmett standing on Sorrel Ridge because there's sort of like one dominant color, which kind of tends to happen with JPEGs. It tends to be very blue, especially when you're shooting in the mountains during the day. Personally, I think it looks crunchy and pretty awful. So I'm gonna take you in and show you how to fix all that. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna start with sort of the basic adjustments. And so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna start with temperature by sliding that one up. It starts to take a little bit of the blue away, adds a little bit more warmth back into the image, which is what we're going for. Tint, we're gonna bring it to about plus 15, makes it a little less green, adds a little bit of pink back into it, which I just think looks better, especially when you start to bring that warmth through. It's going to bring a lot of green in. Now, if you follow along on Instagram, I tend to have a very bright feed, so we're going to take the exposure and bump that up, and I like to sort of wash out the image a little bit, so we're going to bring the contrast way down, just sort of flattens it out. Now we're going to take the shadows, sort of darken those a little bit so that we get the separation that we need between this part of the image and this part of the image. And the next thing we're going to go to is saturation, and bring that down to minus 15 or so. JPEGs are sort of naturally oversaturated, so we're going to be going with a little bit less saturation, and then we're going to bring it back as we go along. Now, I lied. We are going to do HSL because we are bringing some of that saturation back in here, and we're going to be changing the colors a little bit. So for the aqua, they look a little bit green right now, so we're going to change that. Then we're going to make our blues a little more aqua. As you can see, it kind of takes the purple out of the sky. Saturation, we're going to take the aqua and bump it way up, and then the blues we're going to take down just a little bit. And as I mentioned, blue is a very dominant color, so we're going to take the luminance and just bring that way up. This is something that's going to sort of be case by case. My computer is very dark. When I put it over to my phone, everything comes out very dark, so I sort of make sure everything's a little bit brighter when I'm editing, and it just comes out how I want it to. So, and we are going to get a little bit intense with it. We're going to go into color grading and keep this simple. We're going to do an orange and teal sort of split. So we're going to grab an orange that we like and bring that saturation up to 15. And then we're gonna go to the highlights and do a similar thing, just with like a blue teal. And then for blending, we're gonna go with around 70. Now, the most important things in this tutorial, brushes and the masks. So we're gonna start with the brush. First brush, very simple, is just going to be a clarity brush. And once you start sort of painting it in, draw a dot or so, and then press O, and it's gonna show you your overlay. It's gonna be highlighted as red, and you can kind of see what you're painting over. We're going to add another new brush. This one's going to be sort of a mix of contrast, exposure, and a little bit of saturation, which we're also going to put on this mountain here. So we're gonna bring that exposure down. We're gonna bring that contrast up, and we're gonna bring some saturation into it. So this next custom brush is going to rely on temperature and saturation. Just drop our point there. We have the overlay on, and we're just going to paint in the water. Now brushes can be very customizable and very powerful. So something you can do if you sort of overdo it or you miss a spot is all you're going to do is hold Option, and that's going to be sort of the minus, and you can just go in and like clean up edges if you need to. So the last couple brushes here, again, since brushes are sort of micro adjustments, you're gonna have to add a couple sometimes. So this I want to pop a little bit more along with this down here. So we're going to go to temperature, bring this back up to about 20, bring the saturation to about 85. Okay, so that's it for brushes. So the next thing we're gonna be doing is moving on to masks. And for this one, I used 3 in particular, along with some specific techniques. So the first mask is going to be a mix of a bunch of things. We are gonna bring down a mask over here. And what we're gonna do with this one is we're gonna bring the temperature down, bring the exposure up, dehaze, which is gonna add sort of this soft glow. And then we will bring the saturation to 50. It kind of looks washed out and a little bit weird. Not exactly what I'm going for. It has the nice glow, but I think a bit of it's too blown out. So what we're gonna do to fix that is go back to the mask, click on it, go down to range mask, luminance. We're gonna show luminance mask, and we're just gonna select the area that we sort of want it to affect. Done. Then we're gonna add a second mask, and this mask is going to be a little mix as well. We're gonna get that exposure up, bring the contrast out of it a little bit, because I find that helps with the clouds. Same with the dehaze. And then this one is going to be luminance mask. You can sort of like slide these by hand if you need to. It's gonna affect more of the highlight side of things, the clouds themselves. Masks on and off, that's the sky. That's what it is now. A little more glow, a little brighter, sort of my style and what I like to see when I'm editing. And for our last one, we are going to bring one up from the bottom. And this one is going to be sort of a very dark gradient. This mask down here, essentially what it does is it darkens this low part of the image, makes it a little less even overall so that your eyes are drawn up to sort of the subjects that are kind of over here and right here. And that's it, that's simple. So if you use this technique, please let me know. Like I said, I have videos coming out in the future that are gonna be able to help you edit on your iPhone or on a free app. If you don't have the Lightroom app and you don't plan on buying it, I will come up with sort of techniques and ways of doing it without all that selective masking and brushing. Without a proper intro or outro, that's it for the video. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.